All right, everybody, back from Bridgeport. This is the Capital Blue Cross Intermission Report. This is Patrick Sharp. So we've got a lot to talk about. Sharpie, how are you? Thanks for coming in here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Bob. Good to be in the booth with you.
Yeah, I've been wanting to get you for a little while, so I found out you were coming to Bridgeport, and I said, absolutely, we got to do this. And coming up in a couple days, you're going to be in Rockford, and you're going to be an honorary captain there. How excited are you for this?
Very excited. It's a huge honor, obviously, being an honorary captain. My old teammate, Chris Versteeg, we played together for a number of years. He's going to be on the other bench, so I'm very proud of the time I spent in the American Hockey League. It shaped my life off the ice. I grew up a lot when playing for the Phantoms, both on and off the ice, and the experiences that I gained playing for the Phantoms I definitely took with me later in my career, and they served me well. So to have a couple days in Rockford, where I know there'll be a lot of Chicago Blackhawks fans there, that can be all fine and good, but I'll be representing the Phantoms, wearing our colors and doing the Lehigh Valley Phantoms strong.
Right, this is AHL, so you're Phantoms.
Exactly.
When you go there.
Exactly.
Right? But so much to cover here, but you know, when you are working in player development with the Philadelphia Flyers, now for 2 seasons, right?
This is my third season,
Yeah, third season.
Yep.
Okay, so, boy, time flies.
Yeah, I know.
But, you know, we see at some practices here working with these players, then you're getting around and seeing some of the other guys, our prospects that are in college and at major juniors. But when you're here, you know, and Danny Briere, he's not on the ice, but he sort of talked about this as well. You can relate to these players because you're a prospect who wasn't quite ready for the NHL yet. You went through what these guys are going through, time in the American Hockey League, just trying to become the best player that you can be.
Yeah, big time. It was the first part of my life when I was out on my own. I suppose I had my teammates to support me and my coaches, but living by myself and managing life away from the rink, feeding myself, doing all the household chores, laundry, all that stuff. So, and that was a huge adjustment that I remember in the early days of being a Phantom. Obviously, the level of hockey was much higher than the University of Vermont, where I was coming from. Took a lot in over the course of 3 seasons, and you know, when I look back on my career, I really think that timing has a lot to do with it. And in my 3rd season of my entry-level contract, there was no NHL. So I was fortunate enough where I had a place to play with the Phantoms, and we had a pretty good team. We ended up winning the championship, and I graduated to the NHL. So tons of memories, tons of experiences from my days playing back with the Philadelphia Flyers, or Philadelphia Phantoms,
Sure.
I'm sorry, before they moved to Allentown. But experiences that I carried with me into playoff hockey with Chicago and beyond.
Well, everybody talks about that great Philadelphia Phantom season during the NHL lockout. So the AHL caliber of play was elevated. It was more of an NHL light in many ways. And then the crowds that you had at the Spectrum and everything, just an unbelievable season.
Yeah, it was great. The team we had was built really well. We had a lot of physicality, some toughness, some guys that were intimidating for the opposing teams coming into our building. The Spectrum was not an easy place to play ever. And I was not one of those players. I was a young prospect. I played center at the time. I was a speedy, skilled centerman that was learning my way in pro hockey, and I was protected pretty well by some veteran guys. Had great coaches and leadership in John Stevens, who's still coaching and winning Stanley Cups at the highest level, and learned a lot. Every team in the league that final season had a number of prospects that went on to have great NHL careers. We had a bunch in Philly, and it was just a magical playoff run. It was cool to see the city of Philadelphia and all the Phantoms fans kind of rally behind the team and give us the energy that we needed to win those home games. So it was, you know, I was fortunate to win some other championships later in my career, but I always think about that first one with the Phantoms. It taught me so many lessons, and I was ready for the next level.
Well, I was going to say, you know, after you go through a grind like that, you don't know that you're going to win championships later on in life. You know, this is your first and you're hoping for more, but you have no idea if that's going to come. And getting that Calder Cup and that first ever championship, super special.
Very special. Holds a special place in my heart, and all the teams that I played for, are unique in their own right, but the ones that we were fortunate enough to win and go all the way, you form those special bonds with the teammates and coaches, training staff, and the fan base, really. It was a cool moment. I love going to Allentown and seeing the portrait on the wall and then seeing my terrible beard at age 23, but it was a fun time in my life, and it's an awesome picture.
We have a picture of you in our office as well, actually. Nice. I walk past it all the time. Oh, there's Sharpie. Like, we've had it there forever. Like, this is before you came to join the Flyers and player development. It's not like we just put it up there a couple of years ago. We've got other photos there. Have you ever just, I'm sure you have, thinking about how fortunate you are? I mean, yes, you're skilled and you had a wonderful career, but you can't win a Stanley Cup on your own. But to win a Calder Cup, win the Stanley Cup 3 times, win a gold medal, not a lot of people get that opportunity. A lot of great players never had the opportunity to get all 3. I mean, that's pretty rare.
Yeah, I'm very lucky, and no doubt. Perfect timing in my life, in my career, the way things worked out, and I feel like I was in the right place at the right time, but definitely the lessons that I learned each year of pro, not just the ones that we won championships. I feel like I got better every year of pro hockey until about the age 33 or 34. So it's something that I take with me into the player development role now when I talk to our younger players. Feels like all these kids are in such a rush to get to the NHL. No doubt, I was also. But there's a process, there's steps that you need to take, things you got to learn, and it doesn't happen overnight. So it's fun to see the development of our younger guys. Some of our veteran players have taken strides. It's great to see the Wizard out there taking a leadership role with our team right now. So it's not just the young up-and-coming prospects, it's the veterans. Garrett Wilson's done an excellent job as the captain of this team as long as I've been here. So the young kids are in great hands, but it's great to see everybody developing.
I'm going to assume that when you're out there and you join the team for practice, or you have development days on the ice at the Phantoms, and the coaches kind of stay away and let you guys do your thing. But when a guy like you or John LeClaire is giving some tips to one of our young prospects and a pro rookie at the AHL level, they're probably listening. You know, they're like, well, Sharpie or LeClaire is telling me I should do this. You can probably tell too. They're paying attention. I would hope they're kind of eating it all up. Everything you tell them.
I would hope so. And Riley Armstrong, who's in charge of the player development, does an excellent job of helping us teach as well. I'm learning a lot from our coaching staff, both with the Flyers and here in Allentown. Learning a lot from Riley as far as how to find that voice as a coach on the ice. I know.
Interesting. So you feel like there's a process there.
No doubt. I still think of myself as a player, and I try to think of what that player is going through in whatever situation it might be, and find a way to relate to that player, or run a drill, or come up with an idea, or whatever the circumstance may be. But I'm using it as a learning opportunity, and trying to get better at it every year as well.
Winter Olympics are coming up. Well, they started. The hockey is coming up soon, and NHL players, finally back in this on the other side of that wonderful Four Nations tournament that they had. I think everyone said, we got to do this. Let's go, and making it happen. How excited are you that we got the NHL players back and you got the real deal, the full deal here again?
Yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be fun to watch. I love seeing the best on best competition. Seems like the top players in the league really elevate. We've seen that in the NHL this year with so many great players across the league really stepping up. I feel like in the Olympic years you get that a lot. The tournament itself, it's a cool experience. I remember it being pressure-filled, playing for the country that I'm from in Canada. We were sent over there to do a job, and that job was to win the gold medal. So I was trying to take in the experience, the Olympic experience, as much as I could, and see some Russian culture. The games were in Sochi, but to be honest, it was a 2.5-week tournament where we were practicing or playing or getting ready for the biggest game of our lives. It seemed like every night, so it was fun. My roommate for the tournament was my teammate, longtime teammate and captain of the Blackhawks, and Jonathan Taves. We spent 3 weeks beside each other every day, and I think we wanted to kill each other by the time we came back to Chicago. But we came back with a gold medal, and it was an experience that I'll always remember, and thankful I could be a part of it.
When you've just got such a star-dominated roster like Canada is going to have, all the pressure is on. Like, if you only win silver, that's pretty good. Yeah. But that, in Canada, they say, "Oh, we only won silver." Like that, and it's just like what, 6 games,
right.
you know? But it's really, I mean, the preliminary round, and then you're on to the elimination games, you know. So really, the 3 games there, and it almost didn't happen against Latvia because of that Kristers Gudlevskis guy.
That's right.
Well, and you scored a goal in that game.
I did. I scored, I think, to tie the game. We had the puck all game. I think it was like a 50-shot performance.
57 saves.
Okay, there you go.
I mean.
And
it's crazy.
They did a good
Sidney
job
Crosby and everything, right? And he's just stopping everything. Now, when you're going through that game, are you like, are we going to beat this guy? Like, seriously? Like, you go in with certain expectations against Latvia, I would assume.
Yeah, but
and
as
then,
you know,
and then the game became what it became.
Yeah, as you know, Bob, like single elimination games can be scary. If it's a best of 7, I think the best team's gonna pull that out more times than not. In that particular game, I remember they scored a cool goal. They had almost like a trick play. It was a neutral zone face-off. They won the draw, went D to D, and then the weak side defenseman jumped into the players' bench, and a forward jumped out way at the other end at the forward side, got a breakaway pass, went in and scored. So he kind of caught us off guard. And then the rest of the game, it was just like an onslaught from Canada with a lot of shots on goal, and eventually we tied it, and I felt like it was only a matter of time. But yeah, I mean, it's hard not to think of what might happen if the puck goes in the wrong net. It's a different story. But the next game wasn't any easier. We played USA in the semifinals. Right. That was a 1-0 victory. So in the finals, I think, was a 3-0 victory against Sweden. I remember so many talented players, captains from Canada in our locker room, and my job was just to stay out of the way and learn as much as I can from those guys and contribute whenever I was asked to. But it was a very cool experience, nerve-wracking, but very proud to come home with the gold medal.
You only got to play in the one Olympics. Did you know like way ahead of time, or what was the process like in finding out? I mean, did you have an inkling? I think I'm going to be part of this team?
A little bit. I mean, my goal was to make the 2010 Olympics, which was in Vancouver, in my home country, and a bunch of my teammates on the Hawks were there. I was not. But I was in the mix in the orientation camps and the tryouts and all that for Canada. I didn't feel at the time of the selection that I was going to be there, and I wasn't, and that was cool. And did the math and realized I was going to be 32 or 33 the next time it rolled around. So that's a little bit older to make those teams, but I was
determined. Like now or never
category,
almost.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And the way things were going with our club team in Chicago, we had just won our 2nd Stanley Cup. I was a big part of that group, so I thought maybe there was an opportunity. Needed to stay healthy and have a good start, which I did. And I don't know. I still try to figure out how it all happened.
It's so different. And when we talk about hockey, and I've got just one more before I let you go here, but the Stanley Cup, it's just an incredible grind. It's 2 months of playoffs, and you went through that 3 times, and just 7-game series and everything, and then the Olympics. 2 weeks, you're done, and you got to, and it's a bunch of guys who had never played together before. And you got to figure it out so quickly. Completely different ball game here.
Yeah, no doubt. Even the Calder Cup is the exact same as the Stanley Cup. It's 2 months. It's every day. It's preparation. It's scouting. It's getting ready for the team you're playing against. It's dealing with injuries, and then you get to the Olympic Games, and it's like, puck bounces over your stick and you're a loser. So everything matters that much more. But it was all great experience and stuff I'm trying to pass on to our younger guys here as well.
Where do you keep the gold medal?
It is. It's at home somewhere. It's in a safe, I think. We're in the process of building a nice little spot for it, so we'll display it at some point. I'll send you a picture. How about that?
Sure. I interviewed Craig Patrick, the U.S. assistant coach of the Miracle on Ice team. I think it was 4 years ago, and he had it, and he let me put it on.
Oh, nice.
And it really hit me. He was like, the interview was over. I said, Craig, thanks so much, and he had to say, Bob, I'm going to need that back. I totally forgot I had it. But anyway, Patrick, this was great.
Hey, Bob.
I really appreciate it. Really wonderful conversation.
Awesome.
Let's get some goals out here, too.
That sounds good. We got a nice power play goal to end the first, so let's build off that.
We need that.
All right,
Patrick, good to see you.
Good
Thank you so much. All right. Patrick Sharp here, everybody.